NBA fans were confused when Golden State Warriors forward Draymond Green confronted a New Orleans Pelicans fan during Sunday's game. Green went face-to-face with the fan in a tense moment that put everyone on edge. Security gave the fan a warning and allowed him to stay for the rest of the game without any more controversy coming afterwards. More information has been revealed about the situation. Sam Green is the name of the fan, and he discussed his side of the story by confirming what he did to make Draymond upset. The story from Sam claims that he started chanting "Angel Reese" at the Warriors star to reference the controversial WNBA player from the Chicago Sky style of play. Green was upset enough to confront the fan in the crowd and almost got physical. Sam also claims that Draymond said he would knock him out if the chants continued. Security separating them prevented the situation from escalating, but Green almost got himself in more trouble with the NBA if he laid a hand on a fan under any context. Why the fan chanted at Draymond? The fan gave a full comment about his logic behind using the taunt of chanting Reese at the former Defensive Player of the Year. Draymond had a strong rebounding night, but not attempting any shots up to that point caused the fan to come up with a creative insult. "I wasn't using profanity, and for him to walk 12 feet off the court to come and get in my face like that, it was a little unnerving," Sam told ESPN about the NBA player getting that close. Draymond certainly loves to talk and felt he was well within his rights to voice his opinion after being met with such heckling. The reference to Reese stems from her WNBA play style, often holding the allegation of stat-hunting rebounds. Reese has even played into this by trademarking the term "mebounds" for her epic ability to compile a large number of rebounds on every given night. The fan wanted to insult Green by saying he's looking for rebounds and unable to contribute anywhere else. Draymond Green had the last laugh. The Warriors scored a big victory over the Pelicans to continue building momentum in the Western Conference. Golden State had a strong start to the season until Stephen Curry missed time to cause a losing streak. Curry's return has seen the team winning 3 in a row to improve to 9-6 so far this season. Green finished the game with 8 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals to help with a strong team effort tonight. The offensive game of Draymond came around since he was able to finish with 8 points after a slow start. New Orleans fell to a brutal 2-11 to make that fan's night even worse. The viral moment ended up being the strongest memory from an otherwise lackluster game. Green has talked about taking inspiration from rude fans and had an impressive all-around game after this incident. Maybe more "Angel Reese" chants will help his play and the overall Warriors team success if tonight was any indication. The Golden State Warriors have a ticking clock on the time they have left to compete for another NBA championship with the core of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, and head coach Steve Kerr. Barring rumors of recent internal strife and some unexpected losses against lackluster competition, so far, the 2025-26 NBA season has gone well for the team in the Bay Area. However, despite their 9-6 start, Kerr gave a brutally honest take on how he thinks the Warriors' season has begun, specifically as it relates to the team's schedule 15 games into the year. "The Miami game will be our 17th game in 29 days in 13 different cities," Kerr said in a recent appearance on radio show 95.7 The Game. "It's been the toughest early schedule I've ever been a part of in my entire NBA life." The coach's point is easy to see, as Golden State has undergone extensive travel through the first month of the season. Yet still, the Warriors have put together a strong resume of wins against other contending hopeful teams and expect to find themselves in the postseason once again. Steve Kerr on Warriors' schedule. Kerr made it clear that, though he isn't pleased with the league giving his team the toughest early schedule he's been a part of, the coach made sure to give credit to his roster. But at the same time, he also hinted that rest could be coming for his stars as the Warriors close out their 6-game road trip. "I think our guys have held up remarkably well, but there's definitely some considerations to make with this back-to-back against Orlando and Miami," Kerr said. "We're going to try to do the right thing by our team and by the league, so we'll see where that takes us." Golden State has played 4 games in the span of 6 days, all of which were wins but one, their contest against the Oklahoma City Thunder. They will play 2 more back-to-backs against the Magic and Heat before then returning to the Bay Area. Despite the brutal travel and game schedule, Kerr thought his team had played well in the face of the lack of rest. Though the Warriors are one of the oldest teams in the NBA, with Curry, Green, Butler, and Al Horford all over 35 years old, the coach believes those players are the key to success. That's what it's got to be. That's the way we're going to win, Kerr said of needing production from his star players. That's how it's always worked in the NBA. You get the guys at the top of the food chain to play at their best by supporting them and making sure we got the right flow, the right rhythm. That is what wins in this league. Kerr found the positives from his roster despite what he believes has been an uphill battle to begin the season. Injury updates to multiple players. In the same radio appearance, Kerr offered injury updates on multiple players, of whom a few have already missed multiple games this season. He first gave news on Jonathan Kuminga, who hasn't played in nearly a week after he left the first half of a game against the San Antonio Spurs with knee soreness. He got a workout today, and an assistant coach said he looked a lot better, so he's coming along, Kerr said on Kuminga. I'm hopeful he'll be able to play in Miami, but we don't know yet. The forward underwent long negotiations with the team over the summer, and after a hot start to the season in a starting role, has cooled off a bit. He will be out for the Warriors' next game against the Magic, but as Kerr said, it is unknown if he'll return in Miami. The coach also gave much-needed insight for Golden State fans on Anthony Melton and Seth Curry. Melton joined the team over the summer, but has been recovering from an ACL injury suffered early last season. Melton is with us on the trip and really putting in the work, starting to scrimmage and that kind of stuff, Kerr said. But he's not very close because, as you know, he missed all of last year pretty much. So he needs to really do a lot of on-court scrimmaging and rhythm work. We just don't have an exact date yet. I don't know. Kerr then added on if he could discuss the potential of Seth Curry rejoining the roster. If I don't know, I'm not going to comment on it. Through 15 games, Brandon Podziemski, Buddy Hield, and Quinton Post are the only Warriors players to see action in each of their games. LeBron James and Anthony Davis were a superstar duo that brought a championship to Los Angeles 5 years ago, but were ultimately split up in the middle of last season as a result of the blockbuster Luka Doncic trade. Could James and Davis have interest in playing together again at the Golden State Warriors? That's a shock question to even ask, but it's not totally unrealistic given both have been linked to the Warriors in recent times. Speculation on Davis's future, in particular, has risen significantly in the wake of Nico Harrison's firing at the Dallas Mavericks, and perhaps a move for the all-star big man could prepare Golden State for a stronger pitch to James next offseason. Anthony Davis' trade could incentivize LeBron James in free agency. The Warriors have already been proposed by multiple analysts as the lead contender for Davis when he becomes available. The Ringer's Bill Simmons suggested Golden State could flip Jimmy Butler and draft capital for Davis, while Sam Quinn of CBS Sports ranked the franchise first of all 29 rival teams who could make a deal with the Mavericks. Davis is currently on the sidelines with a calf injury, with any trade unlikely to take place until he returns to the floor and we get closer to the mid-season deadline. Any interest in the 32-year-old from a Warrior perspective would be dependent on how they fare in the next couple of months, and subsequently whether they're desperate enough to explore a move for the injury-prone star. With or without a Davis trade, the Warriors are likely to show some interest in luring James away from the Lakers in free agency given their interest in the 4x MVP previously. A retirement tour in the Bay Area might be a legitimate option, with the Ringer's Zach Lowe theorizing as such on a recent episode of his podcast. I know people with the Warriors are looking around like, hey, you want to fulfill that dream over here? Dallas, that was a rumor. We'll see what happens, Lowe said of James' future beyond this season. The opportunity to play a year or two with Stephen Curry might be enough to bring James to the Warriors, but there might be an extra incentive if his former championship teammate is also there, particularly given the Doncic-Davis trade came without the superstar forward's input. Golden State would need James to take a minimum contract as a free agent for it to happen, something that's not impossible if he's desperate to head to a specific place where he believes he has one more chance at a title. The likelihood is that neither Davis or James are Warrior players in the next 12 months, but it's still worth monitoring, especially if the franchise gets in such a tricky spot that a trade with the Mavericks becomes a legitimate possibility.